let's get to the thing we all love, golf. How did you discover the game, and like what got you started?
I lived in Chicago for 4 years in the late '80s, and we had a weekend home right around Lake Michigan in a place called New Buffalo, Michigan. And my next door neighbor was a guy named Mike Kaiser, who had you guys know Mike, huh? Yeah. So Mike had just built a 9-hole golf course called the Dunes Club, and he was sort of an accidental architect, if you will. In our neighborhood, there'd been this huge plot of land that somebody wanted to turn into a trailer park. Mike bought the land preemptively, and then decided, well, why don't I build a golf course? And Mike knocked on my door one Saturday morning and introduced himself and asked me if I played golf. And I said, Mike, not only do I not play golf, I've never set foot on a golf course. So I was 35 years old, this was 1991. And he said, well, why don't I show you what I've created? So we walked, it was the equivalent of maybe 3 blocks. We walked to this golf course. It was a chain link fence. It literally had a padlock on it. And even though I didn't know anything about golf, I'd never seen a golf course, I was just struck by the beauty and the serenity. And I love serenity. I could be alone with a good book or a good football game for hours on end. And so I immediately fell in love with the beauty of this golf course, which I found out later was really modeled after Pond Valley, which is the #1 golf course in the world. And one thing led to another. That was 1991. Later on that year, we learned that we were getting moved back to New York. And so we got back into New York in 1992. Around that time, there had been a big controversy at a golf course called Shoal Creek in Birmingham, Alabama, where this golf course was a part of the regular tour, but it was owned by a guy named Hal something, you probably know, who was a racist, basically, and said that there would never be a black person that would be a member of his golf course or his golf club. And the PGA basically said, we cannot have a tournament at a club with a restrictive policy. And all of a sudden, there was this mad scramble by private clubs to get black members. And so I had a friend I got into Andover with, whose father was the president of Shinnecock, which is out in Long Island, not too far from the bridge, where I'm sure some of you have played. And his father, and this was sort of 1992, and the U.S. Open was coming to Shinnecock in 1995. And his father said, we got to get some black members. And he asked his son, do you know any black guys who play golf? And he said, yeah, I do. And he called me and he said, do you want to join Shinnecock? And I said, yeah. And so I was in to Shinnecock, and the same thing happened with another club called the Creek, which was in Nassau County. And before you knew it, I'm up to 6 golf clubs now. And as you know, I'm passionate about golf. I love it. I love it. I love it. There's so much about it I love. I take lessons here with Randy Taylor. I've got a golf dinner tomorrow with both of these guys are coming. I've got 22 of my good friends that I've played golf with at some point or another during this year. And we'll have a great time. We'll have good food. We'll have good camaraderie, good drink. I don't remember your question anymore, but no, that's how I got into it. Yeah, Kaiser.